Guaranteed now, Dignitas very happy about that, more than likely, especially after their defeat earlier on today to Fnatic. But game 2 is here now, Torpedo versus Paradigm. Paradigm are going to 2-0 this. Let's find out. Xaliea with a good silence, keeping Axios in an awkward position. Swimmers are making it come up big. One more hit. He will die as well to Xaliea, who gets a double.
Run away, Xalia's coming.
He got him again! Blind shot in the dark finds the kill.
Trickstake is there, still stunned, but it doesn't matter. Funballer finds the last hit, and then he finds a beautiful stun on Variety as well. He can't even get Lawbringer off.
Straight to picks and bans, and this time we'll see Paradigm will be the first pick, first ban. Torpedo banned Susano last time round. I'm expecting they'll do the same thing here again. And I don't think we'll see much different out of Paradigm here either, Tolly.
More than likely, they're going to stick to their guns. The way QvoFred has been playing aggressive in the mid to jungle position with Lawbster as well, if they get banned out from the Fenrir, he's more than likely still going to play a very aggressive style.
Now with Callus on the squad again, obviously going to DreamHack, and not a lot of players know about him and going to be having to deal with him on the Paradigm lineup at DreamHack. Do you want to play Bacchus again and just make him look like pigeonholed into one god, or do you want to try and show off that he's got a god pull?
I'm sure that he has a god pull. You wouldn't be a sub for Paradigm if you didn't have a god pull. However, you don't really reveal too much information by picking Bacchus 2 games in a row, so I wouldn't be surprised. However, first appearance, Susano.
He gets through. In the first week of being available, he gets through and he gets picked immediately by Paradigm. The question is, Tolly, do we see him solo or jungle?
We're going to see him on Funballer, knowing Paradigm.
You reckon?
No, we're not going to see him on Funballer. I hope not. I expect him to be in the jungle position. It has a lot of mobility. Every time your abilities are on cooldown, you get that 4% movement speed per stack, which is very important, going from buff to buff to buff.
So jungle, use the speed buff as well to combine with that and just get yourself in even a better position. Kuang and Khepri, though. Torpedo don't draft too badly for themselves by leaving that Susano up. But the way people have been talking says Susano should be strong.
Should be very strong. The damage numbers are quite intimidating when you look at them. Kuang, however, on the flip side, does a lot of damage as well. So late game potential for Torpedo is still there.
Zhong locked in again for Lawbster. Played it a couple of times so far this season. Callus will go back to the Bacchus for another visit there to the Fat Man, and Torpedo now have an opportunity for their final pick before the counterban phase.
And with that counter pick is going to be the Odin. Going to be able to lock in the Zhong. Susano is going to be locked in as well. However, his third ability can go through that Odin cage.
Yeah, Jetstream does allow him to get away from that, but he's got to make sure he either doesn't hit a person who's in the ring with it, or he actually makes sure he's outside the ring before it goes through. So we'll see how that can play out. Fenrir banned away, so Torpedo definitely looking at gods with leaps to take off the table.
I like the Zeus ban right here, taking that away from Torpedo. Not going to be able to complement that Odin support. More than likely, no, it's going to be Khepri support with Odin jungle. No, Kuang jungle.
Probably Kuang to solo Odin, more than likely here.
Moix could play Kuang solo as well, depending on what he's been like. He played Hawa before, right? That's true. That's a late game mage, and potentially Kuang's another good late game assassin style mage. So
Thor taken off by Torpedo, as is Neath as well from Paradigm here. So Neath gonna be banned away by Paradigm. Why Neath? Do you have a reason why we would do see that?
So taking the Neath away from Torpedo is not going to add more damage for Kuang in the jungle fight specifically. There was a lot of 1v1 fights between Gamehunter and Funballer that last game. If you throw a Neath ultimate into a jungle fight, it's going to allow Kuang to find another easy target and execute threshold.
And also, I guess in team fights as well, the ring can pin people in. Bakasura will be the pick for Paradigm. We've not seen the pick for Torpedo just yet. A bit of a mistake there, I believe. We'll work that out in a moment for yourselves. But that Neath ban, obviously, making sure Kuang can't set up or Odin can't be set up as well, I suppose, is the real thought process behind that too.
Bakasura is a nice pick here because there's going to be no Bellona available. Odin, Khepri, and Kuang are going to go between the support, jungle, and soul lane position. So Bakasura won't have a direct counter, and that's a very safe pick. He's going to get last pick from Paradigm. And more than likely, we'll see what Torpedo likes to go next.
Yeah, so ISIS, then it was Bakasura and Ho-Yi, which is a mistake there, as well as Torpedo now with their last pick available to them. They need a Hunter here, going to face off against the Ho-Yi, and Funballer's like, all right, Gamehunter, you played Ho-Yi last game, and you wanted to fight. What do you want to fight into Ho-Yi? And her?
Kronos is open, Apollo's open. That's two gods that Gamehunter does lean on quite heavily throughout his SPL career.
He's got a pretty good Anher too, but he's going to go with the Horsey.
going to be the Chiron. And it's going to allow him to maybe find the revive depending on how low. A lot of those 1v1 fights, both members were pretty low, so could potentially find the revive on Chiron.
Very, very interesting composition from both teams here. First episode of seeing Susano in the Pro League as well. Let's go into it then. Paradigm 1-0 up. Torpedo, they need to find wins. Good purification from Zero. Snipe connected from Korinyo to confirm it. Bobat is dead. He's going to use purification while in the air. Big shield from Murrdurr keeps him alive though, and a cataclysm too. Great play from Murrdurr. Big ultimate onto Jungle, who gets knocked up as well. Evaporated. Drums of walk off from
Bobat actually to find that one.
So with his high mobility, wind skills to help him in and out of combat, as well as some fantastic damage. We expect to see QvoFred do very well on this in the jungle.
And it looks like they're going to play aggressive, dropping a ward on top of the speed buff, going to dash away as well. Odin having the Wrath available to him, so he should be able to secure in case there's an invade with Bakasura in mid anyway.
Oh, what's this coming out from NinjaBobat there? He got himself in an awkward position. You saw him try and chase him down in mid, and it looks like NinjaBobat wanted to just rush down mid and try and die to the tower and not give credit for a kill. Bad news is Funballer did get an assist there.
That's going to be a little bit of an advantage for Funballer. You know, just 32
82 gold. 82.
82 gold.
It's huge.
It's going to be a potion.
It's huge.
It's going to be a potion. He could have...
It's like 3 creeps.
If he wanted to, he could have backed right there and picked up another potion to allow him to have a little bit more sustain in laning phase.
Mind games. What have you thought about this, by the way? Getting first blood and immediately going back to base and buying boots 1. Not a lot of people do it.
If you have the time to do it, you should definitely look for that opportunity. It gives you a huge advantage.
We're going to see Bakasura solo lane here played by Xaliea as well. So double assassin coming out from Paradigm this game. Xaliea going to get his own blue buff and now help with the speed, which you'll see QvoFred hit mid lane a little bit quicker. And he has gone for the power potion start on the Susano jungle.
I like the idea that Xaliea has, picking up his jump, which is going to shred the protections of the jungle. So it's going to be allowing QvoFred to kind of shred the camps a little bit faster. And now they're going to do the same similar start. Looks like Xalia's probably going to teleport to... No, he's just going to walk back because of the passive of Bakasura is going to have a lot of mobility.
A lot of mobility. QvoFred gets the Ryan Harpies again, so there's the same start we've seen that Paradigm twice. However, Bakasura, Xaliea in a bit of an awkward position there, going through the jungle. Nearly got picked off by Torpedo, but the leap was up. And so the Fire Imps will go the way of Torpedo again. This is a rinse repeat of game 1 already.
And now this time he's not going to lose any gold under tower. In the 1v1 situation, when you have an assassin that's going to be higher level than a warrior, there's a lot of kill potential. And even if you don't kill them, you're going to be able to poke them out early on.
Pulled in there from the Wind Siphon was Korinyo. With still aggression coming out from QvoFred, forcing NinjaBobat back. With that speed of these abilities being down, he can close the gap a little bit quicker. The Stone Qatar comes out to get him away from the combat.
And just like that, QvoFred poking out the Isis and dashing away in the process. Beautiful multi-purpose ability.
I know we call Thorspin to win, but I'm pretty sure we're going to call Qvo, and maybe not, because Qvo's in trouble. He's going to manage to jump away just in time using the jet stream there. Otherwise, that was certain death going NinjaBobat's way.
I like the fact that he did pick up the jet stream at level 3. A lot of people will sometimes go for your damage ability 2 ranks at level 3, but in that situation, you want to have more mobility as well to supplement your passive and to have that potential aggression or the disengage allowed, or rather prevented Torpedo from getting that first blood.
Well, duo lane here, Torpedo definitely pushed up heavily with this Khepri Chiron lane. They've got plenty of wave clear advantage over the Ho-Yi and the Bacchus early on. And it's just basically weathered the storm from Paradigm at the moment. He does get abducted here, Callus, but he'll flop away to safety one more time. A little bit more poke comes out. And this is just what you'd expect to see in this matchup so far.
And this time, Callus going for a different relic to start. Instead of opting for the meditation, going to go for the curse early on. He's going to possibly try to set up some easy kills whenever Susano does rotate. The mobility from Susano and the mobility to prevent Torpedo from disengaging with the curse.
It's almost like you were casting. You saw this rotation coming. QvoFred is here. His speed buff did just run out though, unfortunately, but the flop is good on Murrdurr, and Murrdurr going to get cursed as well. The shell is down from him, but the focus is there from Qvo. Picks up the kill with Qatar and continues chasing Gamehunter, who has to charge away.
I was going to look for the ultimate there from QvoFred. Unfortunately, the charge was available for Gamehunter. However, they could still easily wrap around knowing that the charge is down for Gamehunter.
Well, Xalia's doing a good job over in the solo lane. Pushed Moex under tower, then takes away the Fire Imps before the mid-Harpies spawn again, so Paradigm starts to even things up. Qvo and Callus heading mid lane.
I like the solo lane matchup for Xaliea right now. He's currently a level ahead as the mid lane. NinjaBobat going to get poked out quite heavily, and he's going to have to back. He's going to lose a lot of experience off of this back.
And Qvo really just showed some of the stuff he can do coming out from Susano as well. Used the jet stream, connected it, jumps in, uses Stomp Qatar, jumps out again, and already half-healthed his opponent.
And now with that, poking out NinjaBobat, forcing him to back. Paradigm is going to play very aggressive in the speed buff, rotating over Xaliea, going to eat the minion, allowing for a very easy invade steal.
And they give it over to QvoFred. Blue buff is available, but they're not looking at the blue buff at all. They're just going to try and disengage. QvoFred was looking at a rotation from Torpedo here to catch somebody coming back to lane. Instead, not going to find anything. He will, however, though, go for the imps, sorry, for the harpies, and NinjaBobat trying to contest, gets poked out. Actually intoxicated too, but the damage was not there to finish it off.
Even if you don't find the kill, NinjaBobat is still very low. He might have to back again. However, QvoFred smells blood. He has the speed buff. He knows the water illusion is down for NinjaBobat, and he's taking advantage of it as QvoFred.
That's just presence of mind, knowing that he's not going to go back. He's got to look for the camps and try and find farm.
Yeah, like as a jungler, whenever you get poked out, you always think like to yourself, what can I still do with this amount of health? Okay, I could do my back harpies. QvoFred, being a very experienced jungler, recognizes the mentality of NinjaBobat and instantly countering it.
Thinking ahead of himself. Well, now Qvo's over on this right-hand side here, looking towards Moex, and instead going to head to his own jungle with Xaliea. Now blue and speed are still available for them, as Lawbster gets the red buff, combining with Funballer on the left. Xaliea will get his blue.
It's going to put Xaliea in a very good position right now, having the blue buff available to him. Blue buff still can be stolen as well away from Moex, and he could be in a very awkward position once the Butcher Blades are maxed out at level 9.
So all good signs for Paradigm so far. Torpedo in a bit of an awkward spot at the moment, being pressured early on that first kill, going over to Susano as well.
And right now Moex is backing, but he doesn't have teleport, and there's a wave under his tower. Blue buff is available to him. Xaliea not going to look to steal that, unfortunately.
And that's funny, we didn't even look at that, but Moex has actually taken Wrath this game as well, so we no teleport available to him in the early stages. Seen this out of quite a few players in the solo lane, but they've not really done anything with it. I guess they were worried about an invade coming out from Bakasura potentially at the start of this game, is why they took it.
It's very easy for a Bakasura to just walk up to you on speed buff and eat your minion, so Wrath kind of prevents that from happening.
Poke again onto Callus there, just above half health, I should say, but he's in a comfortable position still to continue on. Choosing the Medjay again online for him here as well. His player damage charts on your left show that Susano currently highest in the game.
Doing a good job right now, the way he's poking out NinjaBobat at this beginning of the game, finding the kill early on top of Murrdurr as well. Before the level 5 happened on the Khepri was very important. Not finding the pull onto NinjaBobat, but the damage is already done, and he's going to be a little bit tilted.
But look how aggressive he's being with this as well. QvoFred not scared to just throw out the jet stream there and connect it, and then immediately follow up, having confirmation that he will be in range even if he misses the initial impact of it. Closing the gap and getting some free poke off here. Some more free poke trying to come, but they recognize it, and QvoFred's in a bit of trouble here. He tries to turn the damage around, uses the Storm Qatar to escape.
And if you use your jet stream and you connect on the enemy opposition, you do reduce your cooldowns as well, which is going to set you up for another escape potential.
Murrdurr coming mid lane now and trying to support his teammates here as Lawbster is pushed up with this minion wave. Murrdurr though in a bit of pressure here because he didn't realize where he was. He gets pulled back into the danger zone. The Typhoon is down. The Typhoon hits 2 and Murrdurr falls to Lawbster.
Murrdurr had no mana to use his ultimate to revive him into safety, so another kill. Meanwhile, Xaliea finding a solo kill on top of Moex on the right-hand side, already 2 levels ahead currently, and now Moex is going to miss another wave because he doesn't have teleport.
And while that's happening, NinjaBobat may miss another speed buff because QvoFred is here. He's very low though, so he's going to be careful. And it looks like that was secured from the side of Torpedo, so NinjaBobat will pick up his own speed buff, and Qvo's going to be very careful here. But chasing through the jungle means that, well, Xaliea is still pushing more minions under the tower.
And right now, QvoFred doesn't really care if NinjaBobat tries to go for that kill. He still has Purification to avoid the ultimate from the Kuang, and he has a lot of mobility on top of himself to disengage whenever needed. He has Callus on top to support him potentially if needed.
Well, the best news about this as well for Paradigm is going towards DreamHack here. Again, keep mentioning this, but now QvoFred's shown the world that, like, hey, I can play Susano. So ban it, otherwise I'm playing it.
Especially in the jungle, like we mentioned, just the mobility from him. He likes to play these aggressive gods. Susano, already the way he's playing this god is very aggressive, consistently poking on NinjaBobat, having a 1-level advantage. QvoFred currently, it might be easily able to transition to 2 or 3 if he keeps poking out Bobat.
And I will say, with Tank being gone for DreamHack for Paradigm, a lot of weight is going to be on QvoFred's shoulders because he is known as the aggressor alongside Tank, but without his buddy in crime, he's going to have to do this from the forefront on his own and force this and make sure that the team still does the same things they would do with Trix.
They are very aggressive, can be known together as the Bash Brothers every now and then. However, Callus, the way he's been playing is also aggressive at times, and during the late game he was a little bit more careful about his positioning, didn't want to throw the game in any way, which is respectable, but it's just not Trixing.
Abduct Spirit Ball connect there, but Qvo doesn't really panic at all there. No use of Purification, just absorbs the damage. Callus though, in the pit on the left-hand side of the mid-harpies there, looking for something as Moex maybe getting some help here coming out from NinjaBobat. The gap is closed, but the turnaround is even better from Xaliea. It's going to force that gank to fail and force Torpedo back.
When you're this far ahead as an assassin in the solo lane, you could easily 1v2. There's no way that they can aggress on you this much damage right now. Ichivo's already finished. You almost have Warrior Tabby or Ninja Tabby online, depending on where you elect to go. It looks like the Warrior Tabby and Fatalis is being started.
Lawbster in a bit of pressure in mid lane. Not going to panic too much, though. He's very tanky already at this stage. Working towards the Warlock Sash. NinjaBobat turns up for aggression. Has to illusion away, as Callus would have found the mark if he didn't with that belly flop.
The stun from Lawbster, unfortunately, it wasn't long enough to set up Callus's belly flop. Had he been marked by the card, that would have extended the stun a little bit from the Zhong, which would have set up the belly flop further on.
Aggression in the jungle coming out as Funballer has now made a rotation as well to contest those back harpy imps. Funballer leaps away from the Isis Spirit Ball as well as Gamehunter now makes the rotation on the Chiron, but it looks like Paradigm are looking for a fight in the jungle here. Maybe try and bait someone into the Gold Fury area or catch somebody out of position.
They have pretty good vision right now, and Gamehunter is caught in an awkward position, going to get hit by
Great
the
flop. Great combo, nice execution from the team more often than not there. I expected QvoFred to hold it a little bit more, but that showed to me that he's not fully trusting in Callus there, because Callus did land the belly flop, and Xaliea now being focused.
He just wants the damage as soon as possible. Xalia's going to jump away. There is no water illusion available to NinjaBobat to chase this kill right now, as Purification is available to Bakasura, so he has a very good safety net to survive.
All Purification from Lawbster used aggressively here so he can close the gap and look for the pick on Korinyo. The shell is down, as is the Circle of Protection. Now Murrdurr very low, but how low will he still be? He's going to be low enough to die. No ultimate available because he was out of mana. Now they're going to dive with the Typhoon from QvoFred to pick up a kill onto Korinyo. On the right-hand side, Xaliea did end up finally falling to the combination of Bobat and Moex.
Just overextended just a little bit in that laning phase. It looks like Xalia's Purification is still available to him, whereas NinjaBobat's ultimate was used, so I'm not sure what happened exactly in that solo lane. However, in the mid lane, they did find 2 easy kills. The Isis ultimate was just a little bit too late before most of the damage was already done by Lawbster.
Well, 10 minutes in, so no more fire imps available. QvoFred finds that out as the fire giant is there. He's going to go over to the right-hand side and soak the experience, and that actually helps Torpedo out quite a lot with Xaliea just dying, just because it means they can secure their own jungle on the right-hand side.
Especially considering, well, still, despite that fact, QvoFred is able to take the wave. Moex is not able to capitalize on Xaliea missing out because he doesn't have the teleport. He still has to travel. He's going to miss a few melee minutes onto the wave earlier on.
But he will get his blue buff.
He finally does get his blue buff.
To getting a blue buff. Left mid Harpy's being looked at here by Paradigm now at 6-1. Under 11 minutes in, and Paradigm, well, they've continued what they started last game here. 7,000 experience lead, 3,500 gold lead, and everyone's looking good for the qualifiers of DreamHack.
So at this point in the game, the last game, it was the same goal lead. However, it was a slightly shorter experience lead. This time around, Paradigm commanding the experience charts.
Aggression onto NinjaBobat here. His illusion is already down. He's in a whole world of trouble here, trying to juke around to the best of his ability, but QvoFred will pick up the kill in the end. Lawbster and Callus as supporting figures.
And meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Xaliea is able to find a tier 1 tower as QvoFred is trying to group up, maybe going to find a kill on some Moex. However, Murrdurr finds a pull on the mid lane.
But Lawbster going to try and turn this around now. Get the extra protections from his ultimate though, but Korinyo on the mark with most of those abilities there as the snipes come out from Gamehunter looking for the kill on his former teammate from days gone past, but instead Gamehunter will fall and Lawbster will survive.
Just like that, able to survive. So far, it's a 1-for-0 exchange. Moex's ultimate is being used as Korinyo gets taken out in the backline by Xaliea. Moex going to find the jump. It looks like he's not done chasing in the backline. Xaliea wants more blood.
Shield is up for Moex for a little bit longer, but the leap in from Funballer's good to knock him back. We will see Qvo finally fall down, though, going a little bit too over-aggressive. Storm Qatar cannot save you there. The tier 1 tower, the answer to Susano.
So far, 3-for-1 trade in the favor of Paradigm, as we do have Funballer rotating into the mid lane, trying to get off more poke. Callus is going to try to find the stun as NinjaBobat disengages. Not going to find a tower yet.
Still a little bit of aggression coming up from Paradigm here. Funballer feeling himself still, not too worried about how far behind the enemy team is. NinjaBobat, you can see, level 11 to the level 13 Hunter over in the Joe line.
Have to be really careful right now if you're Torpedo. With this kind of experience deficit right now, you can't really force any engagements, and you have to respond to the aggression coming out of Paradigm.
They've been trying to respond, but at the moment they've not had an answer for kills. There's the one here. Bobat forced away again with the illusion, and Paradigm heading over towards the Gold Fury with Xaliea here as well with ultimate not available. They could still look to do this, and they're going to clear out the ward as Xaliea, and looks like he's going to head back towards base actually. So Paradigm not even worried about going for the Gold Fury just yet.
Which is interesting because when you have a Bakasura that's this far ahead, you want to kind of use this to your advantage and force team fights, especially around the Gold Fury when that's available to you. Especially when you see Odin also on the right-hand side of the map, who doesn't even have teleport, has Wrath and Blink instead.
Well, Murrdurr being just pushed away over and over again by QvoFred here because he keeps using the Wind Siphon every single time to pull in Murrdurr. And if Murrdurr commits here, he's going to get pulled even further than he'd like to be, especially if he misses. And he's kind of making Murrdurr have to play this a little bit more defensively than he may want to and hold his abduct longer.
I like the way QvoFred did that. He's charged up
Good
his
ring.
dash, and now he's going to blink away.
Lob's in a lot of trouble here, but he is very tanky. The Typhoon was off the mark in support. Lawbster gets abducted at the last second here to slow some of the damage down, but Lawbster still alive as Moex is looking for the pickup. He will get the kill, but meanwhile, multiple members of Torpedo getting low. Murrdurr ults himself to get away from the ultimate from Regurgitate of the Bakasura, and Moex leaps over the wall, but he's going to get body blocked by QvoFred, who's looking for the kill here. If he can find it, he will find it with the second hit of the Storm Qatar, and now they'll also get a speed buff as a present as well.
So far, it's a 1-for-1 trade, 2v2 around the speed buff, but there is a few members coming around. Kale is finding the solo kill onto NinjaBobat. I see he was very low. QvoFred should be able to get away with that dash and having the extra movement speed, unless Gamehunter can find the snipes.
Very good, finding the second one, but now he's in trouble himself. Sanctuary's on point. Great purification from Xaliea, though, because Korinyo hit that Spirit Ball to perfection to try and help out his Hunter compadre. In the end, he'll still fall, and the blue buff now being looked at.
So with that, speed buff did drop on the floor. Blue buff was taken as well. 3-for-2 trade in the favor of Paradigm earlier on. And GoldFury is still available to them as Funballer is pushing that tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. Only Murrdurr there to defend.
And Paradigm just feel like they want to fight now. Torpedo seems to be answering back to this, but Paradigm are like, we're up enough. We can continue fighting because we're winning all these trades anyway. So let's just keep fighting, having a little bit of fun with this game and experimenting, going for plays, seeing how much we can get away with making mistakes and saving each other and how team fights are working with us.
You have two assassins in the solo and the jungle. They're both ahead currently. Why wouldn't you want to fight if you're Paradigm right now? GoldFury is available to them. They're more than likely going to try to find some vision control earlier on. Maybe still look for 1 or 2 more picks, especially the setup that they have, allowing QvoFred to pull somebody in. Maybe Callus will jump on that target, finding an easy pick.
Now, outside of Panthera, Funballer has the highest GPM of any EU player so far, which shows that he farms a lot, and his player damage actually kind of combines with that, because even though he's known as an aggressive player, for the most part, he's very farm-centric. He's got, on average, 492 GPM per game, which is one of the highest. He just sits there, farms, gets to the late game, and then, well, kills the structures like this.
Especially when you're controlling the objectives, if you're Paradigm, finding the towers, finding the GoldFury, and even if you find the kills in the 1v1, if you're Funballer, that's a little bit of gold in your way as well.
But when you think about it, 492 gold per minute. If you've got that much gold per minute from the beginning of the game onwards, that's insane how quickly your itemization will be online. Murrdurr gonna use his ult on himself, but he's in a lot of pressure surrounded. The Suns will drop. Funballer credited for the kill. Meanwhile, Torpedo forced back to the mid lane tier 2 tower here. More often than not, it's still Lawbster looking for potential picks, and he actually sets up Quvo for one, but Quvo's now trapped in the Ring of Destiny. Moex will get credit for that one as Callus picks up his second kill of the game on Korinyo.
QvoFred coming from the backside, finding the jet stream was a nice play. Unfortunately, he was tunnel visioning a little bit too much, and he didn't see Moex coming from the Phoenix side. Good counter engaged from Moex, trapping in QvoFred. Didn't allow him to dash away from the cage.
And now you're going to see Funballer try and get away a little bit here from the aggression. Callus is waiting around the corner, and Xaliea still wants to try and force a fight here. And I think Torpedo recognized that a little bit. Gamehunter is definitely going to find Xaliea now. Put a little bit of poke onto him as well. And once again, go back to pushing in mid lane.
And Funballer's going to try to still box 1v2, dropping the shield from Moex, so not going to take any damage. However, losing the trade a little bit as Gamehunter was there. Xaliea still having his ultimate. He wanted to play aggressive. If they found another pick or two, they would have opened up GoldFury easily for them.
6.5 minutes in. Like you said, GoldFury still not been taken this game, which is very unusual, Tolly. But what's the reason for that? Is it just because the Paradigm is that confident right now?
Honestly, they're looking for the speed buffs and the blue buffs more than they're looking for the GoldFury right now. The way QvoFred's been playing this, that he's been constantly putting a lot of pressure onto NinjaBobat. However, with this kind of a lead, it's a little bit of a ticking time bomb. You're going to have to start doing some GoldFuries.
Hold in once again is Korinyo by Quvo. He closes the gap as well with the jet stream, and now behind him looking for the Storm Qatar. Exorcism doesn't connect thanks to the Sanctuary, but the Typhoon will, and he will see QvoFred look to get away from the pressure from Gamehunter, but rotations from both teams now.
Using that jet stream on top of the ISIS allowed the cooldown to reduce and allowed him to disengage from Gamehunter earlier on. So beautifully played and executed from QvoFred. Also finding the kill on the ISIS with his ultimate. That tornado was so big there was nowhere for that ISIS to escape. And even in the middle of the laning phase, GoldFury being started. Look at that.
Guess who it is? It's Funballer, the GPM master of EU right now. He will pick it up for his team and make sure they start it. And that's just going to push the lead even further to just over 8,000 gold as 17.5 minutes in.
That's a very commanding lead that Paradigm has established for themselves. Only 18 minutes into the game, having this kind of a lead right now lets you do almost anything that you want. They can easily get this last remaining tier 1 tower, start pushing some tier 2s from there, and keep controlling the map and vision control.
They're looking for Gamehunter on this left-hand side now. 4-man grouping, nobody else here from Torpedo to help him. The knock-up is on point, the charge is good, but Lawbster will still pick up the kill with their card and exorcism combination, as well as the tier 1 tower. His 5 members of Paradigm are just looking for a Phoenix now.
This is where the door is going to open for Paradigm to start taking every single tower off the board. Mowick's recognizing this, just going to try to split push on the right-hand side. Can't defend this tier 2 tower alone. 5v4 advantage to Paradigm. They're going to extend it with a Phoenix potentially.
And the funny thing is, Paradigm focusing Gamehunter there is a good call, because Gamehunter is known for his split push. He'll leave the team to just split push if he can. Pulled in again is Murrdurr into a ricochet combination coming out there. Lawbster trying to put the pressure on as the Phoenix now being looked at. No minions here though. They are now arriving, but the ring is good from Moex. Looking for the pressure onto QvoFred, who's still tanking. He will siphon Jetstream away, I should say, from the danger zone there. His shell has now been used by Torpedo.
And now with the Huey ultimate, that's going to zone a few members away from Torpedo. This Phoenix should fall eventually. Xaliea ultimate. NinjaBobat going to find one in the air.
He does get one, but can he look out to come down and find another one? Funballer, credit for a double kill here is Korinyo in a lot of trouble as well. Funballer gets himself a triple kill now, looking to try and pick up a couple of kills, but with the Titan aggro, the Quadras very much out of his reach.
And with that, so far, that's been a 1-for-3 exchange and a Phoenix for Paradigm at the not even 20-minute mark right now. This is not looking good for Torpedo at all.
Just turn up. Torpedo sat at 7 wins for the season so far. They do have one more set to play against Cringe Crew. Their opposition, who are in the standings against some leftovers, are sat at 8 wins right now with 4 games left to play. So it is still very close between these two teams, but the way Torpedo are playing now kind of shows me that the heads have dipped a little bit.
It's very difficult because Paradigm have been stepping it up from what we're used to seeing. The way they started the second half of the season, Paradigm was not a good way to show their performance. However, the last 3 weeks has been a totally different Paradigm.
And it has secured them the 2nd seed with a week to go. They did do that last week for themselves, so now they find themselves with this week to kind of play around with and test out their new support they'll be using for DreamHack, as Trickstank will not be available for them to play in that.
And I think that honestly they're going to be fine with Kalos right now. The way QvoFred has been playing this games, if he can transition that into DreamHack right now, Paradigm have nothing to worry about.
I agree, but what if Qvo gets behind? What's going to be the situation? If Qvo gets invaded early on or has some trouble, can Callus match what Trickstank would bring to the team to help support when Qvo was in pressure?
That's a good point. Not only do you have to know how to play aggressive, you have to know how to disengage and play passive when needed. Can Callus fill the shoes from Trickstank? Can he make the shot calling? More importantly is the question.
And it's big shoes to fill, especially. It's very difficult to try and fill a role at the end of the season, especially with so many people roster locked as well to teams across the Pro League. Abducted mid lane, connects with Funballer. Funballer under a lot of pressure, actually tries to drop the Suns first of all before leaping away, but still being collapsed on. Bird Bomb was good from Moex, but it wasn't enough damage as the Typhoon connects. Moex, he gets the ult off, and as well as Murrdurr defensively ults him, so he will survive for now as Lawbster. Well, they'll just sit in the ring for a minute and then look for some more aggression.
Beautiful CC preventing Moex from caging the Hui before he could disengage. Jumping to safety of his Bacchus player allowed him enough time for the CC to happen before Moex can get off the cage. So Paradigm just playing lights out together. Not only playing aggressive, but knowing how to save each other at the same time.
And that tier 2 tower falls on the right-hand side for free. There wasn't even minions there. They just backdoored that with the amount of damage they had available to themselves now. The 5-gen is available at 21 minutes in, but they're not really looking for it just yet. They're just trying to do what they did last game and just push up all the lanes, take all the towers first of all, and then continue.
So they're playing it safe right now. Whoever is making these calls is playing very carefully right now. They don't want to overextend and allow Torpedo any sort of wiggle room to come back into this game.
Do you reckon with Callus, because normally Trickstank is the guy on comms for Paradigm, do you reckon this is like now Qvo, this is going to step up and be the comm leader? Or would you give a little game or two here to Callus to try leading this team and like being the shot caller for them, just to see how it works?
It could be a possibility. That's something that Paradigm are experimenting with. However, if I'm a team with a lot of experienced veteran players, I'm leaning more towards that experience than rather somebody that I'm not used to playing, because you still have the synergy between your other 4 players. You're comfortable and you trust them. Now, it's not saying that they don't trust Callus, they're just more comfortable with the other 4.
QvoFred landing a nice combo yet again of the Jetstream Wind Siphon there just to pull Moex out of position. No real follow-up there, but Qvo has really led from the forefront both these games. On the Fenrir, on the Susano, this game once again. The damage charts tell the story.
And now with the damage charts being so high and the lead being so high for Paradigm as well, that's going to allow them to start up this Fire Giant right now with only 3 members right now. Susano is looking to zone, Lawbster's also looking to zone on one side, and this should be easily done.
Yeah, because Callus is just the one tanking it just to make sure they don't get debuffed with the damage reduction there onto the 2 physical damage dealers. They will get the Fire Giant for free in the jungle still. Kuvo keeping pressure on Moex, forcing him to leap away. Doesn't want to overextend too much though, because Torpedo were looking to come around the back of him there at the tier 2 tower.
Good jump just as the pull happened from QvoFred right now. This last remaining tier 2 tower is going to be the first objective for Paradigm, and then the remaining Phoenixes are going to easily fall.
Yeah, tier 2 tower being looked at. Phoenix on the left did already fall already, and the Fire Minions will still be pushing that in, so this is a prime opportunity for them. Instead of looking at middle Phoenix here though, it looks like they were looking towards left and push those Fire Minions in. But 3 members are going to stay mid lane here from Paradigm, looking to chip down at a Lawbster with those auto attacks. Callus on zone duty with the minions coming in. This Phoenix should fall unless something happens, and there is the ultimate from Moex.
They're trying to zone out some members. Ice's ultimate on top. Lawbster and Callus might be in a little bit of trouble. However, the pull is onto Xaliea. He's in a lot of trouble. He disengages.
He does manage to get up with the snipes here on point from Gamehunter once again. Chiron credited with the kill. The difference is though, Kuvo did take that right-hand Phoenix, and the only one remaining is a weakened one on the left-hand side.
So Xaliea taking one for the team as the right side Phoenix does fall. Left side Phoenix will fall as well. So objectively, Paradigm playing really well.
Callus gets a credit for a kill again, trying to keep in Trixtank's shoes here. 22-7, 24 minutes in. Only Fire Minions to pour down and end. This time Paradigm, are they going to retreat and buy items, or will they wait just for the Fire Minions?
It looks like they're going to disengage right now as Murrdurr will respawn before Xaliea. That's a lot of DPS off the table for Paradigm, not having Xaliea available to them. Unfortunately, he was the pawn that was sacrificed to allow QvoFred to get that right side Phoenix, which is kind of important, but at the same time, if QvoFred was in that 5v5, maybe Xaliea wouldn't have died in the first place.
Well, we just saw GPM come up there. Can we just see that again? Because we're tuning with Callus as well. I just want to see what his GPM's at, because I've got a stat line for you here as well. Trixtank's GPM per game average is 421. Well, Callus beats that too. Callus is a better version of Trixtank, man.
I don't know. He doesn't get the first bloods like Trixtank.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, if you place in the same amount of wards or more, you're getting the same amount of assists or more. What's bad?
You got to be
His
the
averages
all-star.
are higher than Trixtank right now.
No, I like the aggressive early game first blood Trixtank style that he brings. He wants to be the all-star, or he doesn't necessarily want to be the all-star Trixtank. He just ends up being that kind of support all-star because he does end up getting the first bloods, unfortunately.
I mean, poor old Callus hasn't really had a chance though, because QvoFred. I mean, he's been constantly going aggressive since minute 1, especially with Susano.
And that's something that you have to have him basically step up in Trixtank's favor.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how he does. Xaliea, though, going to push up the right-hand side here, wait for more minions to come in and do some pressure as well.
And right now, with Paradigm having to wait for the Fire Giant to respawn, there are still 4 members with Fire Giant for about a minute and 10 seconds right now. So if they wanted to, they could still do the same thing that they did the first game, where they slowly got the Titan, trickled down, and then finally get the killing blow in less than 2 seconds.
Just waiting around now for the 5 minutes to come in and them to come back as well. I'm just counting up the numbers here as well, because I think QvoFred could close in 100 kills this game as well. He started today at 86 kills. And, well, he's got 8 this game, which bumps him up to, if I can math correctly, 94. And then last game he got 5 kills, which puts him at 99 kills right now for the season. We could see 2 members of Paradigm hit 100 kills for the split right now if Susano and QvoFred can find 1 more kill.
And this is their last game of the split as well. Can he find that last remaining kill for the triple digits? We're going to see, as there's going to be the last push from Paradigm potentially, as Fire Giant is still available for them for the last 20 seconds.
Funballer a little bit far forward, has to leap away. QvoFred, though, being aggressed on by NinjaBobat, has to respect the polynomical, and Moex is now going to jump onto Funballer, put the ring on him because he knows he can't escape from the leap. Xaliea jumps into it to get away more than not, as Moex now under pressure, jumps away as well. QvoFred still giving chase. Typhoon connects. Typhoon does not get the kill, though, as Murrdurr's ult was on point. NinjaBobat goes down. QvoFred hits his 100th kill of the game.
However, Lawbster is going to get sacrificed for it. Doesn't matter. QvoFred is cheering right now, and Paradigm are cheering as they're going to siege this Titan, and that's going to be an easy 2-0 cleanup for them.
Perfect play from Paradigm coming out here today against Torpedo. They've looked good from the outset. Their picks and bans were solid. Their playstyle from the early game onwards was solid, and they just continued it on. No real mistakes from the side of Paradigm whatsoever this set.
I like the way they showcased Susano as well in the jungle side. Just the aggression that he did onto NinjaBobat in the earlier stages of the game, constantly forcing him back, allowed him to get that level lead that QvoFred needed.
25-8 is the final score, 27 minutes in. Paradigm Already secured its second seed, and the good news is we got to see their new support play that they're going to be using for DreamHack.
Which is very important from Callis, showing that he can play Bacchus. He didn't show anything else available to the rest of the squad from the EU side of things, so not too many people can really pinpoint what he's going to bring to DreamHack.
Not particularly, and obviously Torpedo, they did lose the 2 games there, but they're not completely into the relegations just yet. There is other games still to play, and they still can, theoretically, get themselves out of relegation here. When you see the standings, you can see Leftovers, they've got 2 more sets to play here as well, and they're actually tied up with Torpedo in terms of how many wins they've both got against each other this season. So if Torpedo can find 1 win and Leftovers don't win any games, then, well, we could have a tiebreaker situation.
It's very possible, but I believe Leftovers have Panthera later on in the season,
They
or
do
this
indeed.
week.
Leftovers have Panthera left to play and Hungry for More.
So do you really think that they're gonna?
Hey, it's EU. You never know.
You never know.
First of all, Lawbster had a fantastic game 1 on the Zeus, and well, he hit his 100 kills, so let's have a little bit of a celebration of him. And overall, this guy, for the most part, you know, we recognized it this season when we mentioned Paradigm's playstyle is Lawbster has to peel for himself, and as the season's gone on, they've started to help him out a little bit more, but Lobster's just so good at positioning for the most part anyway.
Especially when you have QvoFred playing this aggressive on the Fenrir, you don't even have to worry about your position. You just got to worry about following up off of his aggression.
And Lobster was in the middle lane this game too, where he played the Zhong Queen. To be fair, he was like 3v1 in some of these situations where he was like, okay, I'm just going to turn this around. I'm going to rely on knowing my god very, very well and exploiting small mistakes Torpedo made.
And at that point in the time, he was pretty far ahead, which allowed him to sustain during that little 1v3 skirmish and during that finding the kill onto his old teammate Gamehunter.
I love what he did there as well, where he just stood behind Funballer and tried to body block. Kuvo was the other member of Paradigm to hit over 100 kills this split for himself. And, well, both games he got off to an absolutely flying start.
And I love it too, because he needs to make an impact with Trix Tank on. He needs to be the facilitator, and the way he played both the Fenrir and the Susano leads me to believe that Paradigm is feeling very confident going into DreamHack.
And then this is the Susano plays as well, with the Typhoon coming out and picking up kills for himself too. Fantastic performance from him and Paradigm. We keep saying it, but they will be at DreamHack, and they are the number 2 team. We do still have, however, Xaliea available to speak to us today. Xaliea, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Yay. Great intro, Xaliea. Xaliea, talk to me a little bit about Callis today. How's he transitioning to the team, and how's he going to be working out for you guys in DreamHack, do you expect?
I think he did very well today. He didn't try to steal as many kills as Trix would, which is always nice and appreciated in the support. I think he's less aggressive overall, but I still think he fit very well today.
Yeah, I could kind of see that a little bit in his playstyle there. But how's the comm situation with him? Because I know we all have seen Trix Tank, how boisterous he can be on comms and very much forthright leading. Is Callis going to be following that same sort of suit, or is it going to be more up to the rest of the team to fill that void now?
I don't imagine a sub will ever be that person in the team where he's going to be calling everything. So it's probably going to be more the rest of us calling stuff out. But yeah, I think it will be fine.
How happy were you to play Bakasura that second game specifically? I know that's one of your favorites.
Yeah, it was good. Good homage to the old Bakasura. It wasn't actually my call to play Bakasura. I was just wondering what bruiser to fall asleep to that game, but Funball told me that I could play Bakasura, so I got all happy.
So going towards DreamHack now, Xaliea, my couple of real questions for you is, first of all, who do you really want to face at DreamHack?
Who do I want to face?
Who do you want to face at DreamHack?
No one. I just want to win. If I have no opponents, I can win, I guess.
That's a good point. Well, talk about that then. How do you think you guys are going to perform, or how do you expect to perform with a substitute for DreamHack?
I think we'll do fine, actually. I think Carlos is doing very well. I don't think we'll play as well without Trix, obviously, but I think we'll do fine nonetheless. Carlos is performing very well with how little practice we've had with him.
I think going into DreamHack, you're going to be facing Eager, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not 100% confirmed just yet, but it could be Eager.
Okay, assuming that it's Eager, are you going to be preparing more for Eager, or are you going to be more worried about your own personal play style going into that matchup?
I'm sorry, what?
Assuming that your opponent's going to be Eager for DreamHack, are you going to be preparing more for Eager, or are you just going to be worried more about your own personal play style?
I think we're going to focus more on ourselves, although we're obviously going to investigate every team we face. Or going to face.
Thanks so much for joining us, Xaliea. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Shout-outs to Callis for performing very well today, and shout-outs to the people who followed us throughout our split.
Thank you so much for joining us, Xaliea. Congratulations on your second place finish in the SPL this year. They will go to DreamHack as well. So, and guess who else is going to DreamHack? Well, a few casters are going to be going, and here they all are for your viewing pleasure. Unfortunately, Tony wasn't allowed on this list, so we had to take a second European to join us over in PC, and we're going to be seeing Zimstar there alongside myself, Adonis, and F. hi-rez Amanda will be hosting, and then for the Paladins Founders Tournament, you'll see a little bit of Rory Newborough, also known as Dry Bear casting, as well as Hugh Judson. I don't even know his name yet. Judson, I was right. Yeah, cool. Who's also known as Vox, and if you've played the Paladin scene or seen the Paladins streams before, you'll recognize his name. That's all the people going there.
I was going to say Hugh Jackson right there.
Hugh Jackson.
Yeah. No,
I don't think he's a furry.
No, I passed the torch to Zimstar. Simon, we're good friends. It's okay. Handed him the torch. I trust him in my position.
Well, we'll find out if Simon can do that next. But we're still not finished in Europe today. We still have plenty of more matchups to come. By plenty of more matchups, I mean 2 games. Pantera versus Cringe Crew coming up after the break.